How do you do? I'm very happy to have this personal visit with you. Won't you be seated, please?
As the sun rises over New York City, the cityscape is bathed in a golden glow. The Gilded Age was a time of unprecedented wealth and opulence, as the elite built towering skyscrapers and ornate mansions that were the envy of the world. Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest men of his generation, would one day meet a young man named Napoleon Hill, who went on to become one of the most influential thinkers of the era and author of Think and Grow Rich, Changing the World Forever.
Well, hello, this is Cleona O'Hara. I want to congratulate you on a very, very important decision on becoming a Napoleon Hill Institute coach. It will change your life, it will change your family's lives and your clients. I am so grateful that you decided to join us because we are on a mission. We are on a mission to transform lives all over the world. Our goal is to impact billions of lives and to disrupt the self-help and personal development industry. We want to do it differently. I know with Napoleon Hill's principles, with your help, we will change many, many lives. So welcome to the Napoleon Hill Institute and welcome to the family. Well, hello everyone and welcome. I am your host today. Cleona O'Hara is my name for those that don't know me. I am so grateful to join you today. Today's April 17th. Hi, Chris Martin, who's one of our incredible coaches. I am joining you on April 17th. It's my birthday today. And when my team said, what would you like to do on your birthday? I said, I want to do this. I want to help people. I want to help more people. So the greatest gift that I can receive on my birthday is help maybe one of you. Maybe it's planting a seed into one of your subconscious minds, and one of you will get something from this call today. And if myself and Dan Matthews, if we have achieved that goal, then we're on the right track. So again, I'm Cleona O'Hara. I'm the CEO of the Napoleon Hill Institute. And I also believe I'm a spiritual being in a physical body. And I believe that I have a purpose. And I believe that I'm living on purpose by doing what we're doing here today. So today is going to be incredible. I want you just to take a moment and set your intention for this call. You know, there's many of classes online and there's different things always looking to take our attention, right? And distract us, take our attention. But right here, right now, set your intention for what it is that you want to get out of today's masterclass. Okay? Just take a moment and let's get really clear and set your intention. And just allow your mind to have a little stillness. The mind, bring back your focus to the center, which is stillness. And now set your intention for today's call so that you can get the most out of it. And maybe get answers to questions that you have about your life, about your business, about health, relationships, about money, prosperity, whatever it is. And so I'm closing my eyes and I'm joining with you in your intention. And I'm asking the Creator, God, infinite intelligence, to hear your intention in this moment. And we will get started. All right. Okay. Whenever you're ready, open your eyes. Come back to this present moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me on my birthday. Happy birthday to me and all of you. Thank you so much. Look at all my friends on my birthday. Holy moly, am I a blessed woman? How did I get so blessed? Look at all of you. Just look around the room. Come on, look at the little squares next to you. Those are souls. Look at them. They're all here. You're all here. Look at your friends next to you. Connie, Ruben, Inger, Laura, James. Wow, Fanny, look at Fanny. My God, beautiful, beautiful souls. Look at all of you. Just take a moment. We're here together to grow. We're here to serve. I'm on a mission. We're on a mission at the Napoleon Hill Institute to help as many people as possible. Our goal is to help millions, then billions, live happier, healthier, and wealthier. That's the mission. And it's working. We have results. We're 3 years into our mission. We have incredible coaches already all over the world helping us. We have over 240 coaches that are out there serving. You'll see some of them on the call here. Just show with your hand. Some of our coaches are here. Chris Martin, Inger Liz, and Hele, Felipe, Felipa, Bob. I'm making her Italian today. And Liz Carlson. And many, many more of our Bob is here, Zierman. He's also an incredible attorney. So we have coaches that are attorneys, we have coaches that are accountants. And I mean, you can put it in the chat for those that are coaches. You have other professions as well. Why did you decide to be a coach? Put that in the chat for anyone that is interested, maybe in becoming a coach with us as well at some point. That's not what this call is about today, but share that information, okay? So, today's call is about the science of getting rich. And I think this is going to be very, very important for all of you. Many of you know my story growing up in Northern Ireland with very little money and growing up in poverty and the troubles at that time in Northern Ireland. There was war going on. There was, political things going on, very similar to what we're seeing on the planet right now. And so I grew up in that turmoil. I grew up with my grandmother, Peggy. She raised me, and we had very little. She worked to clean toilets. She cleaned toilets for a living, my grandmother, and she made a couple of dollars, whatever the dollars were per week, and she would share them with us, me and my two sisters, and I have a brother as well. So my grandmother raised us. We didn't have money, friends, and we struggled. I could tell my grandmother was really struggling. And I made a commitment when I was a child that when I grew up, that I would have money. Because I know you, I know if you're on this call, you want to have a great life. If you're on this call, I guarantee, and I could put a bet on it that every one of you on this call, that you're a giver. Am I right? Yes. We don't attract many takers in the taker energy. We attract the givers. That's a fact. I've done this for quite 17 years now. I've been studying or more. And actually, oh my God, it's my birthday. It's more than 17 years. I'm only 23 though, just to let you know. And next year I'll be 23 as well, just in case. But we attract givers. And as a giver, when you have money, what do you think happens? There's more giving. And when you're a giver and you have more money and more to give, you're in the act of service and you're serving love. It's an act of love to give, correct? It's an act of love to give. And how many of you want to give love and feel loved? Every one of us. I don't care what, I don't care where you're from, what your background is. Every human wants to feel love and wants to give love. And we can do that when we're rich. More so. We can still give love without money. Of course we can. But we can give and do more and serve more and help more when we have plenty of money. That's a fact. Because I couldn't help anyone when I was broke, broken, lost. I was getting myself into all sorts of trouble. I was in an abusive relationship when I got to America, and we're not going to go down that road. That's not what today's call is about, but today we're going to talk about the science of getting rich. And now I'm going to pass it over to my good friend, my business partner, Dan Matthews. He's a principal teacher at the Napoleon Hill Institute, and Dan has something incredibly prepared for you. And he's also going to talk about the science. Is everybody ready? Yes? Got your notepads ready? Got a good attitude? Okay. If you don't have a good attitude, release that negativity right now. Okay. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. What's that from Frozen? Let it go. Okay. Beautiful. Without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Dan Matthews. He's a professor in sciences, and also he will give you his background better than me, but he knows the science very well about what we teach. Okay, Dan, take it away, my friend.
Thanks, Cleona, and happy birthday. It's,
Thank you.
it's such a pleasure to be here today and to see the people who have turned out. The number of people I see, familiar faces, I see new people. Welcome to everyone. Have made a really great choice to be with us today. This is what is truly a sacred place. And I don't mean it's a religious place. I mean, it's set apart, it's special. It's not for everyone. You have made a choice to come with us on a journey today, a journey of learning, maybe some information that's new to you, but maybe information that you've heard before, that you've read before, that you have in your heart, that you have an understanding of. And this is a day of remembrance, of thinking about those things and turning your heart to the things of the infinite, the heart and mind of the creative intelligence that created everything, even those of you that are here today, and the great technology that we share that makes it possible, all because of creative intelligence, the heart and mind of God at work in the heart of humans and making things that are advancing, expanding, and making it possible for us to meet together today. It's amazing to me that we can be together in a room and see each other like little pictures on postage stamps, but you can get the feeling, the emotion, and the sense of oneness that occurs only in special places, only in sacred places. And I just extend a welcome to you. It's my privilege, my great privilege to be here today. And this is a time of learning. A little bit of background. I hadn't planned, Cleona, to say anything about my background, but I have been my life a teacher, a learner, and a person in love with life and the natural life around us, and always wanting to know more. I have been fortunate to be able to be in a learning environment my whole life. I've earned a degree in English, a degree in biology, a degree in physics, and have spent about 17 years of my earlier life as a teacher from high school level through to university level. And this has been it's been a great journey. I'm in the same amount of time that I've been teaching and learning. I've also been involved with mainly water sports, and not counting snow skiing and snowboarding, but which is really kind of a frozen water sport. But primarily interested in surfing my whole life. Lately, my body is telling me that surfing has been hard on my shoulders for the last few years. So I picked up a new sport. My wife and I are now kiteboarders. And if you've ever seen kiteboarding, it's a pretty exciting sport. It doesn't involve using your shoulders very much, but it is a great time to be in the water and to continue to be active. I worked in research. I worked in research in biology. I worked in marine biology. I worked in research in physics. Worked on a NASA project, dealing with the rare earth metals that are used for the metallic skins of spacecraft. I've worked in research in polymer chemistry. I was the head of a research division for a chemical engineering company for several years, working in applied polymer chemistry. I have a real interest in optics and in what used to be called modern physics. Now it's called quantum physics, and the application of quantum physics to this thing that we're looking at in our lives, with how it works. How does that work in terms of our thought? How does our thought become a thing? How does our energy change our own lives, and how does our energy change the lives of others? It's all what I found in just the last few years. I suddenly realized not only do all religions say the same thing, and if you disagree with me, that's another topic, and you're welcome to. But in the fundamental principles, beliefs of religions, they all start with with the idea God is love, and expand from there until they get to be a little bit different in their understanding, and that difference has always led, because of human nature, has always led to conflict. But the basic tenet, God is love, stays the same. It doesn't matter if you're a Buddhist, if you're Hindu, if you're Islamic, or if you're Christian. The basic tenet, God is love, is the same for all of them. And not only that, there are laws that deal with the way how the hand of God works in the hearts and minds of humans, and how the world has evolved and changed from the original creation to the time that we're in today. Things change with time. Other things stay the same. The things that stay the same are the laws. And the laws of religion, the laws of spiritual development, the laws of how your heart works and how you communicate with the infinite have never changed. And not only have they never changed, the laws of the spiritual laws are exactly the same as the physical laws. The laws that govern physics and biology and chemistry are saying the same thing, telling the same story, just using a little different perspective. If you wonder how your life works, look at the world around you. How does the wind blow? How does water change from rain into rivers and get back to its source, the ocean? How do magnets work? How does electricity work? What is it in energy that is the same? It's all the same. Everything in the universe follows the same laws, whether it's growing plants, falling apples, rainwater coming to earth and becoming nutritious for plants and animals, or how you work your way through life from a baby to a person in their older years. They're all the same laws. If you study one, you're looking at an example of everything. You've noticed, you've been in a place where you're at a social gathering, and you look at somebody walks into the room, and you that they say that person lights up the room. They're charismatic. They have an elegance and a power and a confidence about them that sets them apart. And you feel that energy. And I want to show you something here before we get started. That energy it can be displayed in another way. I have a device that's called a Tesla coil. It's also called a step-up transformer. There are some coils of wire that are inside this, and when I turn it on, it makes a buzzing sound. And I'm going to turn this one side light off because when I do this little demonstration, it always turns the power off to my light. You can hear the buzzing, and while this is buzzing, it's going to interfere a little bit maybe with my broadcast because I can see my screen is kind of getting a little bit funny because this produces very high voltage. It changes what is normal household voltage which is about 120 volts, to 50,000 volts. And it's enough that if I bring just an old school incandescent light bulb up to the tip of the bulb, so you can see it here, you'll see a little bit of what looks like a little bolt of lightning going from the 50,000 volts on the end of the Tesla coil to the light. Let me stop for a second, and I hope I can do this without shocking myself. Turn off the light over here so you can see it a little bit more clearly. That 50,000 volts is traveling from the tip of the Tesla coil as a little lightning bolt into the light bulb. And then it's going to a grounding source, which in this case is me. You can see my thumb here. If I get close to the bulb and touch the bulb, the lightning goes down to my thumb. A quick aside, don't try this at home. This is 50,000 volts. It's enough to knock you down. But not only can this happen, and what you're seeing actually is the glowing gas nitrogen, which fills the light bulb, produces a particular color that's kind of pinkish purple. It's characteristic of nitrogen. It's used to identify nitrogen as a gas source even on a distant star, because it produces what is called spectral lines that can be used to analyze the atmosphere of stars and say what the stars are made of. But watch this. This is the cool part. You can see I have an old school fluorescent bulb, and I'm going to dip my finger in some water here so I get a good contact. And I'm going to grab the end of this 50,000 volts. And again, don't do this at home. You have to do it quickly. And now the 50,000 volts is on me. That fluorescent bulb is not hooked up to anything back here, but watch what happens when I get close to it. I'm not touching it, but you can see that the bulb, now I'm touching it, and it's making a connection, and the bulb is glowing so that you can see it's like a scene from Star Wars. The bulb is not plugged into anything. There's nothing plugged in on either end, but the gas is glowing. The energy that's in my body The energy in my body is being transferred to the gas that's in the tube and causing that tube to glow. My energy, my change of energy is kind of like the person who has entered the room and makes the room light up. It's the same thing. It's not, they're not holding a step up transformer, but there's something about them that's magnetic and can be transferred to other people. You felt your own energy raise when you're in that person's presence, or you've talked to a person, or an old friend that you've never seen, that you haven't seen for a long time, and that friend raises your energy just like this. I'll put this back, and you can see what I'm holding on to is actually a little bit brighter. Ouch. A little bit brighter than the rest of the bulb, but I'll just set that back.
Wow.
And get my fingers off of here real quickly.
Ah, Dan, say something.
Yeah, if you do it too much, it makes you stutter.
And we put your light back on now. Oh my God.
Let me get some. Whoa.
There we go. Wow. Wow. The transmutation of energy, friends.
That it is the transmutation of energy. And there's a whole chapter called the transmutation of sexual energy in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And that power is real. It's a real thing. It's part of how the universe works. You can raise your own energy, not through that process. I wouldn't recommend that, but you can raise your energy by opening your heart and opening your mind to the inflow of the energy that created all things, which is energy, the energy of the infinite, the energy of the heart and mind of God, creative intelligence. I'd like to go quickly into a brief look. I thought, what can we talk about the science of getting rich? Because the science of getting rich is about 14 chapters, and we're going to be offering a course on the science of getting rich, a book study that's coming up very soon. But what is it about the book? And I thought there are many concepts that Wallace, the author of the book, came up with in this rather short treatise that he did, The Science of Getting Rich. And I've broken it down to 10 things that I thought were important points that I'd like to go through just quickly, so you get a little idea, a little taste of what Wattles was all about. He was a teacher, a teacher specialized in writing and lecturing about personal development in the early 1900s. This book was his first book that he'd written, The Science of Getting Rich. It was published in 1911. He started working on it in about 1906. So it was it's an older book, and it was right at the beginning of the whole movement of transcendental philosophy, of spiritual development. And he focused his attention on that and on starting some commune type communities in the Northeast United States. But he left us with a legacy of the science of getting rich, the science of being great, and the science of being well, that are great studies in how our minds work. They didn't have quantum physics back then. Quantum physics was in its infancy and was very poorly understood. But Wattles had an intuitive sense of how the world was made. I'm going to just do a quick screen share and we'll go through this. Ten points that I'd like to talk about. And are we okay on everything's?
Yes, we can see it perfectly. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you, Dan.
The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, 1911. I'm going to just present you with 10 powerful concepts. Wallace Wattles is known for promoting a clear mental vision. In order to make any kind of progress about our spiritual development, to get from where we are today to where we wish we would be, to see things change in our lives and in our perception of the world, and even in the world itself around us, in our environment, it's important to hold a clear mental vision, focused attention, and to have a picture of what kind of life you would like to live. What is it in your life you would like to change? What would you like to be? What kind of person would you be like? What would be the environment that you live in? What kind of friends would you have? What kind of house would you have? Get a clear vision. I'm going to show you something else that I just thought of at the last minute this morning. This is just a piece of little manila folder, and this is an old beat up magnifying glass. If you hold this magnifying glass and get a little bit of an image from the window to my left, over which is that direction, the picture, the focus, there's no focus to this image. It's just a blurry picture. But if we work on focusing it, we get out to what's called the focal length of this lens that makes the magnifying glass. Watch what happens to the image. All of a sudden, we get a picture. And there you can see my window. The picture's upside down because the magnifying glass inverts the image. But there's a picture out there. There's some trees and there's some the ocean is out there. But that's all of a sudden the window comes into focus. The same thing has to happen with your vision, with your mental vision of where you are in life and where you would like to be. Get it in focus and make the image vivid. Make it clear. The clearer, the more compelling, the more emotionally tied you are to it, you will, and how often you think of that image. You think of how wonderful it would be to be living that life. You think of the details. Genevieve Behrend, another transcendental writer and philosopher, in about 1911, came up with an idea that said, paint a picture and then examine the picture. Make it clear, make it vivid, add color and life, and make it emotionally compelling. Fall in love with it and visit it frequently, revisit it. Repetition is important. Hold a clear mental vision and repeat that picture of that vision in your own mind. The clarity of your vision aligns your decisions. It opens your mind and your spiritual sight to opportunities in your life, and it aligns your behavior with those things. Aligns your behavior with the person that you want to be. Another concept is combine your vision with gratitude. Add that emotion. I am so grateful for the life that I'm living in the future, even if it's not there today, because your vision shifts your attention from scarcity. Why do things always go wrong? Why can't I get a good job? Where's the love of my life? From scarcity to possibility. And when you change from scarcity to possibility, you change your mind from being trapped within the prison that's been created in your environment, that you've created yourself because you've only seen what's lacking, to possibility. The physicists would call it potentiality. One of the fundamental concepts of modern physics is that the universe is potentiality. It's energy potential. And that vision combined with gratitude stabilizes belief in your vision. It makes it feel possible. Gratitude converts abstract goals into lived emotional certainty. Abstract goals, something that you couldn't put your finger on, you couldn't describe. If you went out on the street today and you started asking people, what is your definite purpose in life? They'd look at you like you just fell off the planet Jupiter. They've never heard of that concept. What do you mean, my goal in life? I don't have a goal in life. My goal is to work, do my job, and go home. It doesn't get very complicated. And there's very little gratitude in a person thinking about their life like that. I had a friend one time who was having problems in his life, and I said, "Have you ever thought of gratitude?" He said, "Gratitude? I don't have any gratitude." He just flat out said it. It was hilarious, but I couldn't laugh. But he didn't have any gratitude in his life and wondered why things were going wrong. Gratitude converts abstract goals into lived emotional certainty. Act in a certain way. I like that he mentions several times in this book that you should act and think in a certain way. And I love the fact that this has two ways you can define it. One is a particular way different than any other way. But the other is being absolutely certain. Act in a certain way. Be certain about your choices. Act with confidence. Behave as if the outcome is inevitable. You deserve it. You deserve what you are asking for. Behave as if the outcome is inevitable and avoid contradictory actions driven by fear. Whatever kind of fear it is, Napoleon Hill talks about 6 different fears, but there are a lot of different fears, and you know what they are. Fear of poverty, fear of sickness, fear of death, fear of misunderstandings, people not understanding you, fear of not ever being loved. But those fears produce contradictory actions. You can get rid of those fears. Just say goodbye to them, or tell them that you'll meet up with them on Friday. You'll meet up with them at some other time. But don't dwell on the things that are wrong. Don't dwell on the things that you don't have. You think of the things that you will have that are good now in your life, and how good it will be in the future when the outcome has become reality. The outcome is inevitable with the right mindset. Consistent behavior aligns your vision with consistent behavior aligned with your vision creates momentum, more velocity, more power, more confidence in your stride, in your posture, in your conversation with other people. Consistent behavior aligned with your vision creates momentum. Mastery of small daily actions. You think, how can I be successful? Wallace says, be successful in the little things. Make every action a successful action. Mastery of small daily actions compounds into extraordinary results. Small actions done successfully produce a successful life, produce a successful person, a person of consequence, a person of achievement. You don't get to be a person of achievement by overlooking or not completing successfully the small daily actions. Avoid competition. There are two ways you can look at things: competitively or creatively. Those two concepts, competition and creativity, are at odds with each other. Competition, you want to get something for yourself at somebody else's expense. But by thinking creatively and acting creatively, you understand that the pie is infinite. If I take a piece of pie competitively, I've taken it, but somebody else doesn't get that piece of pie. But if you understand that the power that created you is infinite, and the pie is infinite, I can take as many pieces as I want, and it doesn't make any difference of how much is left. Operating creatively, you can think in terms of abundance. Scarcity thinking is competitive. Abundant thinking is creative. Taking from others at their expense is competitive. Creating value for others is creative. Being driven by lack versus being driven by possibilities is the difference between competition and creativity, creative living, creative thinking. We want to choose creative thinking, generous thinking, and activities that are working in possibilities rather than in lack. Innovation and contribution produce sustainable success. Innovating, growing, expanding, and contributing, giving back to others, or giving to others before it's a giving back situation. Give before you're worthy to receive. You can't expect to receive until you know how to give. Innovation and contribution produce sustainable success. Advance everyone you interact with. Wallace said, give everyone you meet the feeling of increase. Create the feeling of increase at every opportunity when you interact with other people. Your interaction with them should benefit them. They say that the best interviewer is a person who asks questions and doesn't talk. Other than asking questions, they ask questions 10% of the time and they listen 90% of the time. That's the secret of successful psychotherapists or successful interviews with people. If you've ever watched podcasts, a good interviewer asks minimal questions and allows the other person to talk. Create the feeling of increase, offer value, leave people better than before. They feel like they gain something by being in your presence and talking to you, even though you don't say much, but you ask questions and you listen. And it creates mutual growth, not just for you, but for the person that you're talking with also. Maintain unwavering faith. The Apostle Paul said, a person who wavers in their faith is like a boat being tossed by the storm and the waves of the sea with no rudder. Maintain unwavering faith. Faith means I am able. Simple as that. Faith means I am able, not because of me, but because I am a child of infinite intelligence. Every person is. Every person on the planet is a child of infinite intelligence. And because of that, they have the spirit and the nature of the power that created the universe within them. Unwavering faith. I am able. Faith is not purely religious. It is psychological certainty. I am able. Refuse negative speculations. We get trapped in that negative speculation cycle. All of us, everybody, myself included, we think in terms of I'm not worthy. I'm not capable. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I have other things that I need to do first. Refuse negative speculation. Instead, reinforce belief in your vision. In order to achieve your vision, to make the change within you that changes your environment and creates the thing that you are looking for, you have to have belief, and it has to be reinforced. Don't get trapped thinking I'm not worthy, or who do I think I am? That's not possible. Reinforce belief in your vision. Maybe not the vision that you have of yourself right now, but the person that you want to be. Eliminate mental drift. Stay focused. Stay focused. Avoid worry. Avoid speculation, especially negative speculation. Avoid dwelling on past failures. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, cast a kind glance on your past. Cast a kind glance on your past. Forgive yourself. We talk about forgiving others. Forgive yourself. Avoid dwelling on past failures, because that negative energy will make them continue. Focused attention is the engine of progress. Focused attention. If you're focused like that magnifying glass we just looked at, focused attention, keep your mind and your thoughts on the person that you intend to be, that person of the future, successful, abundant, generous, grateful. Focused attention is the engine of progress. It's the action and the emotion that causes the wheels of the universe to turn in your favor. Focused attention is the engine of progress. Continuous growth is the purpose. I'm not quite seeing that with the pictures on the side here. Let me see if I can pull those pictures up. I'm missing. Continuous growth is the purpose of life. Continuous growth. If you're not growing, you are declining. Things are either growing or declining. It's true in the living plant world, in the animal world. If you're not growing, you are starting to deteriorate. Money is one expression of growth. So is now money. People say the money, they misquote the Bible and say the Bible says the money is the root of all evil, and that's not what it says. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. And it's wrong it doesn't say this in the Bible, but what that means is if you love money and use people, you have it backwards. You should love people and use money. Money is just energy. Exchange value for value. It's one expression of growth, but so is intellectual development, spiritual expansion, creative expression, and contribution to society. Continuous growth in one or more of those areas. I'm stuck here. Not sure where I'm going here. We're not quite finished.
If you click escape on the top left of your keyboard, it'll bring you. Sometimes that gets stuck. Just go ahead and try clicking.
That's stuck too. Escape doesn't do anything.
Okay, so just click stop share, and then actually I can do that for you, and we'll do it again. And while you're doing that, I just want to bring up one of the points that you were sharing that I think is very, very important. And it's the focused attention. Let's see if we got it working now. There we go. See?
We're on the last. This is, in my opinion, the most important paragraph in the Science of Getting Rich book. And it's an easy one to memorize. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. Wallace Wattles understood the basic tenet of quantum physics when he said that. He didn't know that he knew quantum physics, but he did. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. That thought is energy, and when it goes out into the universe, it interacts as a wave, as wave energy with other forms of wave energy already present in the universe. All of the energy in the universe consists of everything that has ever happened, past, present, and future, and every possibility of everything that could happen in the future. They're all that energy is there always. It's been there since the beginning of time. And when you send out a thought into the universe, or when a thought comes to you, it actually comes to you. A thought in this thinking stuff, which is the energy, what they call the 0 point energy of the universe, is, by quantum physics, has been shown to transfer energy in the form of waves from one particle to another, to all particles in the universe and all spaces of the universe. The idea of thinking, energy being transferred from one point to another, which is what happens when neurons are firing in your brain, or signals are carrying pain signals from your toe when you stub your toe to your brain. That kind of energy is being transferred within your body. But energy is also transferred between subatomic particles throughout the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought, because the thing is just energy too. Everything is energy. We'll talk more about that when we have the book study, and I welcome you to be there. That's the end of my portion, Cleona, and I'm going to turn it back over to you. I'm going to stop share, and
Wow. Thank you so much, Dan.
thank you. This has been a real pleasure, Cleona.
This is incredible. So I'm going to question you now, because
Oh,
because I can imagine some of our guests today, maybe you're new to this material, maybe you want to understand how you can apply it in your day-to-day life, and how does this energy transmutation really happen, right? So let's go back to some of the points that you took from the Science of Getting Rich. And the clear vision, obviously, if we don't have a clear vision, we're sending no signal to our brain of where we want to go in life. Okay? We have no signal. We have no direction. We're not directing this incredible thought energy, right, Dan? So explain, and from the scientific perspective, when we don't have a clear vision and we're in what's called, Napoleon Hill calls, we're a drifter, we don't have a clear vision, we don't have a goal. And I know many people, how many of you know people in that position? And maybe some of you are there right now, and there's no judgment, because I'm so glad you're here, right? I've meet people all the time, and they don't have a goal. They don't have it written down, that's for sure. And they don't have a crystal clear vision. Explain from a scientific perspective what happens when someone does not have the clear vision.
if there's no clear vision, the reality is you control how the universe runs. The universe will respond to you, to your focused attention. If you don't have focused attention, it's not getting any kind of coherent signal. But when you think with focused attention, and you put your thoughts, purposely put your thoughts out with an intention, the universe, those thought energy waves are traveling at a particular frequency. And the more focused it is, the more what's in physics called the coherent is the signal. And a coherent signal causes something called wave interaction in the universe. And that wave interaction, if your thought travels out as a coherent wave of a particular frequency, it will cause energy of the same frequency in the universe to vibrate at a higher amplitude through a process called wave superpositioning. And
Ooh.
that wave superpositioning, also called sorry, I'm losing the term here. Constructive interference causes the waves of the same frequency in the universe to vibrate at a higher amplitude, higher power. And part of that higher power is reflected back to you, just like an echo off of a canyon wall in nature, is reflected back to you and increases your energy as well as the energy in the universe by this wave interaction. And it's been shown to be the case with what they call quantum entangled particles, where energy is actually transferred, information is transferred between particles, telling particles how to behave.
Yeah. And they could be in totally different countries,
It could be
right?
it could be in a totally different galaxy.
Or a different galaxy. Wow. So
Because
this is,
your thought energy travels at the not at the speed of light, but infinitely fast. It travels instantaneously to the farthest reaches of the universe, instantaneously.
wow. So, friends, can you now put a new perspective on the term thoughts are things? Right? You've all heard that, but I need you, because I don't want you to walk away from this for entertainment's purpose. I want you to take action. So, thoughts are things is the first part of the book, Think and Grow Rich. Now, really comprehend what you're understanding here, the frequency of thought and how the universe corresponds with us. So, now that you know that, and there's science proven, do you think you should learn how to think? Yes. It should be one of the most important jobs in your life, actually. So now let's put it into layman terms, right? Lifestyle. So if you're sitting there right now and you're in pain in any area of your life, health, relationships, financially, you're suffering, any of you right now, I can guarantee you, if we help you change the way you think, you're going to change your physical reality. And there's nothing special about me. I'm not that, like, intelligence-wise, I'm probably not that smart, to be honest. But I trained myself how to think. I trained myself how to think. And number one, what Dan taught you, I got a crystal clear vision in my mind of how I want to live. And you can write that down. I got a crystal clear vision how I want to live and who I want to be, number two. And number three, who am I called to serve?
Mm-hmm.
Number four, what am I called to serve? You need to write this down if you don't know this. It'll save you years of heartache and confusion, and it'll help you get crystal clear for your vision. So who is God? I don't hide my beliefs, my spiritual beliefs. Who has God chosen me to serve and help while I'm alive in the physical body, Cleona lifetime, right? Who has God chosen me to serve? I can't serve everybody, but I know God chose me to serve some of you. And Dan, we were chosen to serve some of you. That's why you're on this call today. So, who was I chosen to serve? And then, what What God do you want me to serve and give away and help people with? Okay, what? Now, how do you know the what? By what you're great at, your gifts and your talents. What are you great at? What lights you up? What can you talk about for days? What gives you energy, as Dan said? What makes you feel good? What gifts and talents make you feel good and you're really good at them? That's the what you're supposed to serve. And then the how comes to you. And let's talk about the how now, Dan, as we get crystal clear on our vision, who we're supposed to serve, what we're supposed to serve, and then how we're supposed to do it, which means, in other words, the plan. Many people get stuck on the plan, the how. How does the universe correspond now? Somebody on this call has figured out their vision, who they're supposed to be, who they're supposed to serve, what they're supposed to serve in a product, a service, or a business. How does the universe correspond now with bringing us the plan from a scientific perspective, Dan?
What happens is that coherent energy causes similar coherent energy to radiate out from the universe to you, and it shows up in your life as possibilities, ideas, opportunities, meeting someone that you didn't expect, you've never known, but all of a sudden you're talking to somebody who's saying things that emphasize or duplicate the idea that you've had in your mind. Pay attention. That's the thing. Once you've started this on this journey, one of the things, there are two really important factors. One is working with expectation, the certainty that it's going to happen. And two is to paying attention. You paying attention. If you imagine yourself walking through along a path in the forest, and you come to a fork in the road, that fork in the road is a place to make a decision. Which of those paths is taking you closer to your goal? Take that path. Pay attention. Don't do it. Don't make random decisions. Keep your mind open and keep your heart open in gratitude for the power of the universe, the creative intelligence, the creative imagination of the universe that's ready to guide you. It's already happened. Every possible decision you could make, good decisions, bad decisions, whatever they are, all of the decisions of your life are already energy in the universe. When you open your heart to the possibilities, to the potentialities, and to the signals that are being sent to you, those signals will come with more regularity. And if you don't believe me, talk to Bobby Robles.
One of our clients, Bobby, he is we call him the manifesting king because he just attracts on a daily basis everything he needs for his goal. He's like, people come out of the woodwork, people fly out of everywhere, a phone call, an email. He's like, boom, boom, boom. So he's living, but you know why he's doing that? You know, Dan, but for all of our friends here, Bobby lives, first of all, he has a crystal clear vision of what he wants. Secondly, he lives on the frequency of gratitude all day long.
With a smile on his face.
He's smiling all the time. And there's never a moment that he allows his thought energy to focus on what he doesn't have. There's never a moment he allows his thought energy to think, poor me, look what happened to me in the past, even though he's been to war and he was in the military. There's never a moment. He has become a master of directing his thought energy and living on the frequency of gratitude. And now he is attracting from the universe, from God, the way how is showing up every single day. Guidance, 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 guidance.
And
And
Cleona, the how is something that is none of our business.
yes,
If,
I
if you
agree.
if you think of how is it going to happen, that is none of your business. That is the business of the infinite. That's the
Mm,
business of the divine.
yeah.
Your job is simple. Stay focused.
Yes. Yes. Mary Lynch is one of our incredible clients. I love her so much. She's my Irish sister from another Mister. But she put in the chat, she referenced my quote. I always say, when you make a decision that I will have this life. I made a decision I will achieve this goal. I made a decision that I am becoming this woman no matter what. Your mind flips onto the frequency eh, to receive the how. So decision is the key that opens the door to the how. And now Dan's explaining the science behind how that happens. But it's a fact. It's a fact. When I make a decision, I do it with faith and what you said, Dan, in a certain way. I think in a certain way, and I expect to receive the how. I expect to receive the answers. And the way, I always say, the way will be shown. Do you know the way will be shown, friends? When you act in a certain way, what is the certain way? Some examples? Faith. Faith. Act in faith. Make bold moves, courageous moves. When you act in faith and you have courageous moves and you know you're supported by God, the divine, the creator, God will give you the steps how. Do you really think the universe is going to give you the steps how if you're sitting back worried about yesterday, last year, 10 years ago, what my uncle said to me when I was 4? Like, we have no right and no business to allow our thoughts to wander into the past unless it's good thoughts. We must be loyal to our vision. How are you loyal to your vision? You act in faith, right, Dan?
That's right. And the English teacher in me says the word decision has the same root word as the word incision.
Ooh,
Incision means making a cut. Decision means cutting away. When you make a decision, you've cut away the things that don't matter. You've cut away the things that aren't taking you in the direction of your goal. You've cut away the distractions and made yourself more focused. Decision with expectation.
I love that. I love that. We're cutting away all the excuses too.
That's right.
And I know many people, I've coached thousands of people, and they tell me, oh, I want to do this with my life. Oh, I want to write a book. I want to start this business. I want to help millions of people. I'm like, really? Do you really? Have you made a decision? No, they haven't made a decision. Do you know how I know someone has made a decision? Because they have backup plans.
What's that tell you about expectation?
Exactly. And are they living in a certain way?
Uncertain.
Uncertain way. They're living in an uncertain way. So this is a formula. This is a science. This is a formula of success. We know it works. Let's go back to now one of the other points that you brought up today, Dan. So we had clear vision, living in expectancy and gratitude. The way will be shown when you make a decision. The how will arrive. Now let's talk about, I love this point. We talked about avoid competition. It's not competition, it's
Creation.
creation. So creation versus competition. Now, in today's terms, I see people all the time competing with one another and having this negative thoughts about other people, competing. And you can just feel the energy, as you said, Dan. I can feel it. And it's that when you get into that competitive mindset, and there's healthy competition, of course, you're an athlete, you're competing for the gold medal. That's a healthy competition. But the competition should be, I want to compete with myself yesterday. I want to compete with who I was yesterday, not with somebody else. And here's one for, especially for the ladies. Did you know that when you have jealousy in your heart for somebody else or something else, that somebody has something you want? Did you know if you're jealous and you're in that competitive frequency, you're actually telling the universe and God that you think you can't have it? That's what jealousy is. If you ever find yourself jealous, know in that moment, feel it, recognize it, become aware of it. It means you're saying, oh, I can't have that which she has or he has. And then if we say that and we're operating from that energy and that perspective, what are we saying about God and the universe, Dan?
You're saying that God's not able,
Yes.
which is foolish.
Like I could cry when I think of that. I could cry. For me, that's a sin. You know, we talk about sins. For me, it's a sin to think that the creator, this expansive, infinite universe and supply is not able. You know what's not able? Our attitude. It's not the creator, the divine, or the universe. The universe is ready to give us everything. The universe is ready to give you everything that your heart desires. But what happens is you allow your attitude, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions to go into that negative low frequency, that negative realm. But when you focus, like Dan said, crystal clear vision, gratitude. If you're in gratitude, can you be in a negative mental attitude at the same time? No. No, this is not just positive thinking. This is the creator and the divine wants to use you, friends. I got on here on my birthday for a reason because I'm so passionate about expanding God's kingdom. What does that mean? I'm so passionate that I could help one of you wake up today to say, I'm going to live on purpose and I'm going to expand God's purpose and I'm going to allow the Creator to use me for expansion and creation and growth. Because if you don't live on purpose, what are you doing? What are they doing, Dan?
Drifting.
You're drifting and you're doing the purpose of the opposite. You're living out somebody else's desire for your life. You're carrying out somebody else's or something else's desire for your life. Do you get it? So do you get how important this is to live on purpose? Get crystal clear. See the picture in your mind of who you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to have, who you're supposed to serve. That's why I'm on this mission to wake you all up. And you're more than capable, and we'll help you retrain your brain. We'll help you retrain your thought patterns. That's easy for us. It takes a little bit of time. It takes repetition of study, auto-suggestion, a little bit of hypnosis, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But we got the formula to help you retrain your thinking. Imagine each one of you live on purpose. Dan, imagine each one of them live on purpose.
Faith and belief. And it's amazing, Cleona, that it was talked about very clearly 2,000 years ago. Said when Jesus said, you must have faith and belief. Those are two different things. Faith is believing that you are able, knowing that you are able because you're a child of infinite intelligence. Belief means once you have that knowing, and knowing that the power of the infinite is truly infinite and has infinite resources. The only possible answer to your question is it's already been given to me. That energy of your success has always been here. and it's just waiting just outside the door. It's just waiting for you to open the door and embrace it. That's what we fail to do because we don't feel worthy, or we feel like maybe it's not the right time, or whatever the excuse we have. But belief is knowing that it's already been given,
Mm,
already waiting for you. Go out and get it.
yeah. You're talking about worthiness, right? So some people know their goal, some people know their purpose, their definite purpose, and they know why they're here. And they get visions, but they don't go after it because they feel they can't do it. They're not worthy. Who am I? All the nonsense that doesn't belong to you. And so we have over 100 women right now. We have a women's program called the Women's Collective, and they've only been in there for a couple of weeks, but they're changing quickly because they're changing their worthiness, they're changing their identity at the subconscious level. One of the things that we do, Dan, is, and I would love for you to explain this from a science perspective, we dance. We dance and celebrate our goal achieved. Okay, we do that as part of, we understand the highest frequency and the highest emotions is love, faith, and sex. Love, faith, and sex is the highest frequency. When you have the emotions of love, faith, and sexual energy, you're on the highest frequency. Can you explain that part, Dan? So when we're dancing and we feel sexy and we feel beautiful, and it doesn't mean the act of going out and having sex. No, it's the feeling, the emotion of sex, love, and faith. Explain to everyone here in clear terms so they can understand how does that work? How do we seem to attract easily and effortlessly when we're celebrating our goal achieved and we're dancing and we're in that frequency.
That's a good question, Cleona, because and let me clarify that we in the Western world, when you hear the word sex, all kinds of images come up that are not sex. It's just the biological action is all that comes up. Sexual energy is the energy of creation. We all have a drive for it because part of our existence is expansion, is creation. And we have a center, we have a thinking center in our body that has enough neurons to actually think thoughts, to direct thought energy in our sexual glands, our sexual organs. There's nothing about that that is what we term in the Hollywood sense sexual. It's the power of creation. It's the power to reproduce your kind. It's a biological force, but it manifests itself as in healthy terms. It manifests itself as creation, power of creation. You don't create with your heart. Your body has a place for creation, a center for creation. The Hindus call it the first chakra, the root chakra. It's the core of your oneness with the universe to expand and create is that center. But I had somebody ask me one time at a conference, a gap between some speakers, came up to me and said, "How do I know if I'm on the right frequency? I'm working toward my goal. How do I know if I'm on the right frequency?" And I said, think of your goal. Think of yourself having achieved your goal. Tell me, how do you feel? And she said, well, I feel and you could see her going back in her eyes. Her eyes kind of rolled to one side, and she said, well, I feel grateful. I feel happy. I feel satisfied. I feel fulfilled. I said, stop right there. Those emotions are the frequency. It's as easy as that.
Wow. You better write that down and stomp this into your mind right now. He just gave you the keys to the kingdom. I hope you got that. So how does one attract their desire into reality? They feel all the feelings of the goal achieved, and they have the attitude and the thoughts. That's how you get onto the frequency of your goal achieved.
And drop and forget. Sometimes I like to say, in some cases, you need to learn to forget. Learn to forget. Forget the all the voices that are saying why you can't, and focus your attention on just having it.
Mm.
The any parent knows that you want the best for your child. You want the best for your child. And many parents are able to give a child the best that they have. And I believe that almost all parents give their children the best that they have to offer, the best they can give.
Yeah.
And the relationship between us and the infinite, the divine, is that same relationship. We are the children, the divine is the parent, and it is the good pleasure of the parent to give the best to the children.
Yeah. It's so true. Especially for those that are parents on this call, you understand what he's saying. You would give anything for your children. You would give your life for your children. I would give anything. My goal is to give them everything I didn't have,
Mm.
but also teach them the laws and how to earn it and have the right attitude. I don't just give them, here, take whatever you want, kids. No, they have to earn it. Because if I don't make them earn it, then they're not going to have the skills when they're adults. They're not going to have the skills to survive. And I have robbed them of the creative process. This is another thing because a lot of parents, they overdo for their kids. They overdo, and they're actually robbing them of the experience and the adversity that they need to get the skills that they need for life. So that's another thing to think about, you parents. Dan, thank you so much. Would you like to share anything else? We're going to invite all of you to join us on a 16-week journey, by the way, for the science of getting rich. We're going to go deep into the study, me, Dan Matthews, and Professor Philip Bond, who advises the Prime Minister in the UK. We have some incredible teachers here at Napoleon Hill Institute. Is there anything else, Dan, that you want to share before we bring it in for a landing?
Well, I think we're ready for a little final talk from you, Cleona. I'm I'm so grateful to be here to share this time with all of you. This has been a wonderful, sacred time for me. I know that for you, there are things that touch your heart. It's not because of me, but because of the infinite, because of the power of the power that created all things, the power of the heart and mind of God to feed, to nourish, and to guide you with an experience that is based in power and love and expectation of the best for you. I'm grateful to be here.
Mm. Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much, everyone. Give him a round of applause. He put 50,000 volts through him. You better give him a round of applause or we'll have to. He put 50,000 volts. I wouldn't do it. I'm sorry. I love you all, but I wouldn't do it. I'll do a dance instead. Thank you, Dan. I love you so much.
I love you. I love everyone here. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks, my friends.
So many of you are asking about a replay. Don't worry, you'll get a replay so you can go back and really study the concepts and the laws. These are laws moving into form. Study them, apply them in your life, okay? So the study of Wallace Wattles, why do we even choose Wallace Wattles? Napoleon Hill studied Wallace Wattles as well. as many other greats. That's why I love going back to the older teachers as well that Napoleon studied. And I love to always bring up, when we're talking about the science of getting rich, I always bring up the law of compensation because I've coached thousands of people. I know where they get stuck. And one of the places they get stuck, they're serving, they're giving, they're trying, but they wonder why the money's not there. And it's always because they're not applying the law of compensation. So some of the steps that make up the law of compensation is one is the sow the cause, reap the effect. What services and products are you offering right now in your life to others? Do you have a job? Do you have a business? If so, what are the products and the services you're offering to others right now? Are they needed? Or do you just think they're needed? Like, are they needed on the planet right now? You should be offering products and services either through your business or a job that are needed. That's going to be the ratio of how much money you earn. The more it's needed, guess what's going to happen? The more you'll earn. So it's sow the cause, reap the effect. Number two, always give more than you receive. That's why we always do free master classes, free classes, free study groups. We always give more than what we receive. Number three, become more. Your compensation is tied to who you're becoming, not just with what you're doing. And that's what Dan taught you today. It's about that energy, it's that enthusiasm, your attitude. People want to be around others that have that high frequency and that enthusiasm for life. And so who are you becoming as you offer your services and products? Number four, nothing is for nothing. It's impossible to get something for nothing. You must always give value to receive value. I hear a lot of people, they want things for free. They want things for free or cheap. Guess what? You are telling your subconscious mind that you're not worthy of money, and you're telling God, the creator, that you don't think God can supply you the money. And there's a repeated cycle. That's a thought pattern, a behavioral pattern. Oh, I need to get the free one. I need to get the cheap one. I need to get this. You keep that pattern going when you tell the universe, God, that you don't think that you will be supplied the money for what you want. Break that cycle. Break the cycle. Have faith. The money will come to you when you have faith and take action. So don't ever expect nothing for nothing. It's the lowest frequency, I think, and it's got a creepy energy. I can't even describe it, Dan. But for me, when people want something for nothing, it's a creepy energy, and it.
The energy has to be value for value, the energy exchange. It's
Yes,
it was said the worker is worthy of his hire.
yes.
If you get something for nothing, what you've gotten is nothing.
There you go. You get something for nothing, what you've gotten is nothing. I love that. So number five, the law is always working. The law is always working, friends. Okay. Let me go back. I see somebody wants to take a picture. My beautiful Gowrie. Go ahead, Gowrie. I'm watching your beautiful smile. She's a great example. She's an incredible doctor. She's literally saving lives. Saving lives. Cancer patients, you name it. And if any of you have health problems, reach out to her, private message her, and find out about her services. She is giving one of the highest services on the planet, in my opinion. So she deserves the law of compensation to compensate her in incredible ways, financially and all the riches of life, because she is giving a service of great value. You see? And she's amazing at it, one of the best in the world. Right, Gowrie? Yes. So that's why the law of compensation will work in her life. She's become great at what she does, and she's offering a product and service that literally is needed and changes and saves lives. Okay, I was going to get into the spirit of opulence, but we don't have time. So I'm going to invite all of you, and you should all say yes. Don't even think about it. Come join us for 16 weeks. The woman in the women's program, the collective, you're getting in anyways because I'm going the extra mile. Okay? You see how I'm giving more than I receive? I'm actually applying the law. So ladies, you're going to get the Science of Getting Rich with me, Dan Matthews, Professor Philip Bond, for 16 weeks for no additional payment. Okay? And for you men, I want you to come join. Don't worry, I'll give you bonuses as well. Don't feel left out. But I want you to come, women and men, come join us for 16 weeks starting April 24th. Go to our website, Napoleon Hill. Somebody put it in the chat, one of the team. There's a link in the chat that's NapoleonHillsSecret.com. If our team can put that in the chat, that would be amazing. NapoleonHillsSecret.com. I'm going to just show you what's included. Everybody should just say yes because I'm on a mission. I want to help every single one of you create a wealth consciousness and live on purpose. If I help you live on purpose, if I help you expand your service onto others, I'm living out my purpose. And I'm doing what God's telling me to do, the Creator. We will help you retrain your thoughts. We will help you understand these laws. We've made it so affordable. It's only $2,000. You get to keep all the replays. You can do a payment plan. We've added additional payment plans for those that can't afford to pay for it in full. So you have plenty of time to pay over time. I just want to get as many people, God told me just get as many people as possible on this journey and help as many. So we've made it affordable. We've done extra payment plans for that reason. There will be also a VIP mastermind and inner circle offer that once you join, if you are earning great money, but you want to expand your spiritual understanding, you want to study deeper into the older material, let's say you're doing well financially, then we will invite you to a private mastermind opportunity. So, Science of Getting Rich, 16 weeks until August. We meet every week, me, Dan Matthews, and Professor Philip Bond, and you will study these principles inside out. We also, this is Professor Bond. He's a professor at Oxford and Bristol University. He's also a fellow at the Royal Society. He has advised prime ministers on science and technology. He's going to be teaching you as well. Okay? And actually, he's got this incredible resume and background in academia, but he's also known as one of the happiest men in the world. One of the happiest men in the world. And he's always happy because he knows the law. Mm-hmm. And John Davey will be joining us. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's Marissa Peer's husband. He's going to be teaching you about AI, businesses, how to exit a business, how to scale a business through marketing processes. So you're going to have business training and obviously the Science of Getting Rich training, and we're going to help rewire your subconscious mind over the next 16 weeks. I hope you all join us. Say yes. Don't even hope. I expect you all to join us. This is an incredible opportunity. And go to this website here, NapoleonHillsSecret.com. Come join us. If you have any questions, stay on the call. We'll answer them right now. I want as many of you in there as possible. Okay? Thank you so much, Dan Matthews. Thank you to every single one of you on my birthday. Woohoo! It's my birthday. I'm 23. See, I'm a little bit of I'm a geek sometimes, like a happy geek. I just love life. I I really love life. And I want you to love life. I want you to be rich. Because if you're rich, actually my last slide, I'll tell you why I want everybody to be rich. This is what I believe. These are my little philosophies, okay? Here's why I want you all to get rich. Are you ready? Because the more money in the hands of the good, of a good soul like you, the more good shall be done. That's why I want you to get rich. Because there's people out there, as you know, that have a lot of money and they're not good souls. But if I can get you good souls to have more money, then I know you'll expand and expand God's kingdom and you will do good. You will help other people. You will help eliminate a lot of suffering. And that's why we're supposed to get rich. All right, friends? So have a beautiful day. Dan Matthews, I love you. Thank you to all of you. If you have any questions, stay on. Our team will answer your questions and we will send out the replay. And I will see you all soon. I'm going
Thank
to go
you.
celebrate. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I love you.
I love you too. We love you guys. Have a beautiful day. Let's get rich and help a lot of people and have
Thank
a lot
you.
of fun. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Cleona.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday.
Kiana. Thank you so much for being with
Thank
me
you,
on my
Mom.
birthday.
Thank you,
Thank
Cleona.
Happy
you.
birthday, Cleona. You look
Thank
23.
you.
Thank you.
Exactly 23. Yes. Beautiful as always. I love you.
Oh, thank you so much. Beautiful.
Eh,
Thank you.
Cleona, it doesn't
Are we
show
supposed
the
to
how
sing
can I
happy
join
birthday
with the
to you?
payment plan.
Okay, give me one moment.
Yes, thank you.
What was that
How
about
can
the
I
payment plan?
Yeah, because it doesn't show the payment plan, it only shows the $2,000. So then I would like to
Oh,
join with the payment plan.
yes. Let me put the link in the chat
Oh,
and
perfect.
tell me if it works. Stay on there because
Okay.
I know it's we just added more payment plans on to cover to get as many people to be able to afford it. So
Oh, that's why. Okay. Uh-huh.
try this link and see if that works, my love.
Okay.
And just come join us, everybody. Just do it. Trust me. I know
Oh, for
people.
sure. Yeah, I'm doing it. Just I want to
Yes.
know how
Miriam,
to.
click.
Yeah.
Do you see this button here? There's
Yeah, yeah.
$199 a month. Like we went all the way
Yes.
down because we want to get as many people in there as possible. And you can choose that one or whatever
Secure.
suits your budget. We want to make sure that it's
Yeah, just
affordable. Do you
secure
have?
your place. I see secure your place, but let's see what it shows.
Yes.
Yeah, the $2,000. So if someone can send me an email with the
Yes.
payment plan, I can sign up right now.
There it is. It's in the link. Do you see it? What's
I
your
just see the 1,999. 1,999. I don't know why I don't see more.
Okay,
Pay
click
1,000.
on the link in the chat. Not the
Click on the link.
website. Go to the chat.
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
I'm going to the chat then.
And I'm
Mhm.
so glad you're joining us, Miriam.
Oh,
I
thank
can't wait to
you.
see you again. The time for the calls will be on Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Mhm. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, for sure. I'm gonna be ready.
She's looking at the Zoom screen rather than her browser. Okay.
Oh, yeah, hold on. What I am
Christina,
looking at? What do I have to look at?
in the chat, there's a link called Napoleon Hill Secret /pricing. So let's click on that one. When I click on it, then I scroll down and there's all these payment plan options right there. Okay?
Yeah.
Does anybody
Well,
else
can
have a
Christina?
question?
I'm gonna contact Christina by email, so then I don't hold you here.
Okay. And you can
Okay,
do
thank you so much.
hello at NapoleonHillInstitute.com
Okay,
is our
perfect. I'll do
email.
that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it should be working.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's
perfect.
going to be on Fridays. This is wrong. If it says Thursday, it's going to be on Fridays at 11
Okay.
a.m. Eastern.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect. I'm sending the email right now. Thank you. See you. When do we start? This Friday?
24th.
Next Friday.
Next
24th.
Friday.
Okay.
Bring
So
all
see
your
you next
friends.
Friday.
Let's get
I
everybody in
will.
there and we'll go the
Yes, it's
extra mile.
amazing.
Yes.
Oh,
I
thank
can't
you.
wait.
See
All
you.
right.
Thank you so much.
Kim. Anybody else have questions before I go and do my hair for my birthday? I gotta go do my hair. I gotta do my hair. Right, Dan?
That's right. You have to keep your hair done.
All right. Any other questions? Raise your hand. We are happy to help. Let's see. Fridays, 11 a.m. Eastern. Come join us next week. It should be affordable for everybody. And if it's not affordable, then you really need to be there. You definitely need to be there if that's not affordable. Okay? All right. We love you. Have an amazing weekend. Gary, I'll see you soon. I love you.
Thank you. Happy birthday,
Thank you.
Fiona.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Bye.
birthday. Make great
Thank
wishes.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Dawn.
Thank you for all that
Thank
you do.
Fiona.
Go, Dan. Come on, Dan.
Thanks, everybody.
Dance. Me and you should dance for my birthday. Come on. Yeah. Come on, Dan. That's Dan and his wife every night.
Everybody in the booth can tell myself apart from you. Now that we're dancing, people dancing, people dancing, people dancing, people dancing.
Thank you. We love you all.
Thank you. Love you.
Purple hat, cheetah print, dancing on the people. Rolled up at the after joint, dancing, dancing on the people. People dancing on the people. I got people on the people. People dancing on the people with the people on the.
Woohoo! Go love your life. Go love your life. See you soon. Bye. Bye.